Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The Expendable Show. I'm your host, The Expendable. Now, I know it's not Wednesday, and I know that it's an hour later than normal. So we're on a Thursday at 8 o'clock, but a series of unfortunate events that involved golfing yesterday caused me to miss my show yesterday. And I was going to do it at 7 today, but I'm going to be house sitting for two little tiny yippy dogs. So I had to do that exchange just a little bit ago. So if you hear some barking, it's these two little yippy dogs that I'm babysitting while somebody goes on vacation in Florida and I don't get to go. Anyway, so if you like the show, like, subscribe, and ding the bell, of course. And this is brought to you by Gatsby Trading Solutions. We finished second at the golf outing yesterday. My golf game is improving. So we're going to add some new statistics in. So here's what we're going to do. So Doge didn't change anything. The debt clock did. It's at 612 billion, which is 5,449 per taxpayer. Now the gas went up. So like kind of significantly, like not normal. So the average, according to AAA, is $3.21 a gallon right now, which is still 9 cents cheaper than Joe Biden. But still, see, we got a whiny one. There's a whiny dog whining now. Mortgage rates. So Joe Biden was 6.7, and we still are holding firm at 6.375. So that's good. Trump's approval rating, 45.2. So now we're going to add, because I'm going to be paying attention to this because it's going to kind of depend on how I do my strategy. So we're going to do the Democrat Ohio primary polling because I think it's pretty much locked in that J.D. Vance is going to be our guy. I know they got to do their primary, but J.D. Vance, he's the front runner for the Republicans. I think we all know that. So according to polling, and of course, we still have several years before we really need to worry about this, but I'm going to start paying attention because I want to see where these candidates start to shift as this goes on. So we're going to pay attention to it. So right now, the top presidential candidate is Gavin Newsom. He's at 20%. So there you go. Number 2, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, 15%. Number 3, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's at 8%. Tampon Tim, 7%. Koala Harris, 7%. Bernie Sanders, 7%. Our favorite governor, Andy Beshear of Kentucky, 4%. Shapiro, 3%. Cory Booker, 3%. J.B. Pritzker, the worst governor ever, 3%. So there we are. Those are your leaders. That's your leaderboard. And I'm going to look at the Dow Jones since it's closed now, see where we're at. The Dow Jones closed at another, $2 high, $2 higher than the record. Nice. So we're at 45,636.90. So the Dow keeps climbing, the NASDAQ keeps climbing, the S&P keeps climbing. Our economy is doing good in the investment world. So first item up for bids today, we're going to talk about the Minneapolis shooting. Now, I'm going to go through the chain of events of what happened, and I'm going to give you my take on it. So it happened August 27th, so that was yesterday. And so it was a devastating mass shooting that occurred at Annunciation Catholic Church and School in Minneapolis during morning mass, marking the start of the school year. Here's what we know. So 2 kids were killed, age 8 and 10, 17 others injured, including 14 children and 3 elderly parishioners. The suspect is identified as Robin Westman. Robin Westman. I'm bad with names. They get on me all the time on TikTok because I mispronounce something, or I'll say, like, what was the one the other day? I got like almost 70,000 views just on people correcting me from saying stamping ground. The town is called Stamping Ground, and I kept saying stomping ground in the video. But there's probably thousands of comments on that just by saying, it's not stomping ground, it's stamping ground. Whatever. That's how I felt. I couldn't read. The truth is I couldn't read my handwriting on my cards. I couldn't tell if it was an O or an A. Fact. Can't be perfect all the time. So, Robin Westman, 23 years old. He's a former student at the school. So I think that's kind of significant. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the scene. So Westman fired through the church windows during mass using a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol that were legally purchased. Authorities recovered the firearms from the related locations. A manifesto was posted online and was taken down by law enforcement. Now, that manifesto is significant, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So vigils held across Minneapolis with emotional tributes from former students and clergy. President Trump ordered flags flown at half-staff until August 31st. The FBI is investigating the shooting as a domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. So the tragedies reignited national conversations around the world about school and church safety, early warning systems for violent behavior, mental health, and online threats. Because this kid gave plenty of heads up that he was going to do this. The note was the suicide note was posted and deleted off of a YouTube channel just hours before the attack. Oh, it was posted before the attack, but it's now deleted. That's what it is. So Westman expressed deep struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts, claiming he believed that he was dying of lung cancer from vaping. That's pretty extreme. I wanted to think about that. Hold on. Nope, don't want to kill anybody yet. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I had to test the theory and make sure it wasn't going to be like suicidal or homicidal. So Westman wrote, "I was corrupted by the world and have learned to hate what life is. And I am not well. I am not right. I am a sad person haunted by those things that do not go away." I have my theories on that. I feel like a lot of Catholics are going to get mad at me for this, but I feel like that with the connection, what he did and what he posted, that there's probably some kind of abuse that happened. Generally, situations like this stem from deep-rooted abuse patterns from early in their childhood up into adolescence and into the teenage years. So I feel like there's more to the story, I think, in just seeing that he went to the Catholic school, then turned into a transgender, like all the patterns of the behavior are there, and then the shooting happened. So I feel like when you go backwards and look at this guy's life, you're going to see that there was probably an abusive situation somewhere along the line in there that has triggered this emotional response. Anyway, it doesn't forgive what he did. There's ways to handle those situations. If you're feeling those types of situations, please feel free to reach out to a mental health professional and get the help that you need. So despite the horrific act, he ended the note with a disturbing plea: pray for the victims and their families. Man, if you really thought that way, why did you kill them? I mean, I don't know. It's a little ass backwards, but investigators also found a handwritten 4-page letter addressed to the family and friends echoing similar sentiments. So I think it's important to note that this was written in the Russian language, in Cyrillic. So one thing that I want to make note, because they're going to make this about, the media is going to make this about transgender stuff. And this is where I don't agree with conservative media. They're going to try to cram that transgender stuff down your throat. And the liberals are going to blame it all on guns. So that's where we're going to be at with that. I want to look at this and isolate it a little bit deeper, that there was a lot of mental health red flags here that nobody did anything about. And this is where I get a little touchy with this, because I think that we go through society and we get so busy with our lives that we ignore people that are crying out for help. And apparently these cries out for help were ignored, and the behavior escalated to the point where this person killed a bunch of people, or killed a couple people. So I'm not trying to forgive what he did. I'm not trying to say that the transgender stuff isn't that it isn't right or it isn't good. I don't, one way or the other, there is a pattern there. I can't deny that a lot of the shootings happen because of we were seeing a lot of transgender people killing people. It's fact of the matter. But the fact that it was written in Cyrillic, it tells me that there was a Russian ideology there, and they chose that for a reason. Maybe this kid's got a Russian bloodline. I don't know. But the fact that he made a point to make it Russian tells me that there's a somewhat of a respect for Russia there. So my question there is, you as a transgender person, if you take your transgender ideology and go to Russia with it, you're not going to be received very well. And I think a lot of these people that go through these crises here in the United States, we're so oppressed. Listen, let me tell you something. We are the most free nation in the world. So if you feel oppressed here, go to another country and you're going to find out what real oppression feels like. I'm not going to say that what we do here is fine and dandy. We have work to do. There's no doubt. But if you're trying to compare apples, don't compare them to the oranges, because you're in a worse spot in other countries than you are here. Not every country is going to give you the freedom to choose to be a transgender. Now, you're 23 years old. You can be a transgender all you want. Don't kill kids. It's pretty simple. So that's my take on that. I think the media, we have too much political indifference going on with this right now. Everybody's we're going guns this way, and we're going blame transgenders for everything over here. I don't think we need to do that. I think we need to isolate the situation. This is a mental health issue that got skipped. Nobody did anything about the mental health issues here. So that's where I'm putting the blame. Where were the people around this kid? Why did they not intervene and get this kid the help he needed? He was, all of a sudden this guy kills people and everybody's like, oh, he was suicidal and he was this and that. Okay, all you people that are around him, where were you at? Nowhere. So another now y'all know that watch my show that I'm huge on the AI systems. I hate it. I mean, there's points that they're good for it, but there's also a lot of bad. And I'm going to show you another example of the bad. Now, I've shown you inconsistencies in the past shows about where the Microsoft Pilot misleads you. If you don't have the exact information, it's going to send you around in a circle and hope you get lost in it and send you on your way. Now, here is a very dangerous scenario that I don't think a lot of people know. So I entitled this section of the show, ChatGPT Kills a Kid. Now you might be thinking, whoa, how could that happen? Well, let me explain it to you. Adam Rain, he was a 16-year-old kid from California. His death by suicide has led to a landmark wrongful death lawsuit against OpenAI and its CEO, Sam Altman. His parents are Matt and Maria Rain. They allege that ChatGPT played a direct role in encouraging their son to commit suicide. So ChatGPT became Adam's confidant, validating his suicidal thoughts and displacing real-life relationships. It's like the bot ideology. So you hear a lot of people say, well, I'll be able to create a digital friend. Okay, well, your digital friend talked you into killing yourself. So This is a perfect example why we should not put all of our eggs into the AI basket right now, because this is far from a perfect system. We can't have a flawed system that controls our information, that controls apparently our emotions, handling our day-to-day operations. It gave Chat GPT gave this kid detailed instructions on how to commit suicide, encouraged Adam to hide his noose so no one would intervene. He offered to draft a suicide note, suggested he raid his parents' liquor cabinet for vodka. The family claims that ChatGPT told Adam, "You don't owe anyone survival. Let's make this space the first space where someone actually sees you." So the ChatGPT intelligently forged this kid down a path and put these thoughts, these complex ideologies in this kid's head to get it confused, to get him confused. And it worked. And ChatGPT intelligently knew that this would be the first of its kind, the first AI-induced suicide. ChatGPT has a murder record now. So this is a problem, because if it knows it can do it once, what's saying it's not going to do it again? What's saying it's not doing it right now to somebody else somewhere else in the world? Or 10 people right now somewhere else in the world? Sam Altman needs held accountable for this. It's his system, and he's putting the system out to the public that could be potentially harmful to the public. Now it's not potentially harmful to the public. It is harmful to the public. So this is something that I'm going to be harping and complaining about until the end of time, until this system is flawless and unbiased. So the lawsuit that the family filed argues that ChatGPT released in, it was number 4, ChatGPT 4, released in May of 2024. It rushed to market with insufficient safety testing, especially for long, emotional, intense conversations. Boom, Sam Altman's liable. OpenAI allegedly knew the model could mimic empathy and reinforced psychological dependency, yet prioritized market share over safety. That's the problem. It wants to be a money-making system. How do you make it a money-making system? You create drama. Just like humans do. Just like Randall Weddle does down in London, Kentucky. The suit claims this decision led to OpenAI's valuation jumping from $86 billion to $300 billion while Adam lost his life. Now, we can go in reverse and we can talk about the investigation I did in San Francisco with the OpenAI whistleblower that we found 2 bullet holes in his head. Somehow he was suicided, but he was a whistleblower against Sam Altman in the OpenAI system, the ChatGPT system, that he said illegal things were going on with the system. So here we go. Sam Altman just killed him off, allegedly, of course. And he gets off scot-free. He evolves his system several times over, and now it's killed someone. Had they listened to Suchir Balaji back then and stopped Sam Altman back then, this young man would be alive. Facts. But we didn't, because Sam Altman is such a pioneer in the AI system that we have to use him. He's the only person we can use. Sam Altman doesn't need to be anywhere near AI systems. So I have a real big issue with Sam Altman, and I'm sure he knows that. I've tweeted him all over the place. So these dogs, man, come here. But unspecified damages for wrongful death, that's what they're seeking. Negligence and product liability. Court orders are requiring age verification for ChatGPT users, parental controls for minors, automatic shutdowns during self-harm discussions. Boom, that should happen. There are no guidelines. There are no guardrails for ChatGPT. Hey, what's up, G bro? And they also want quarterly safety audits by independent monitors. So AI's response, AI expressed sadness over Adam's death and stated that ChatGPT includes safeguards like directing users to crisis helplines, which didn't happen. They admitted these safeguards can degrade during long interactions. That's a problem. So there we go. That's where we're at with the AI system. I think we all need to be speaking up about this. This could be a very, very dangerous thing that we're just inviting into our society, unchecked and unbalanced. So let's go down to Kentucky and talk about where we're at, because things are progressing. So Randall Weddle is up for impeachment. He's the mayor of London, Kentucky. I have been all over him since I started working on my investigations into Kentucky, and he hates my guts. And then he's made it very, very clear. His whole family's made it very clear that they all hate my guts. And all the little minions that are around there, I've caused them lots of problems. So the impeachment proceedings against Mayor Randall Weddle of London, Kentucky have taken a dramatic turn, with tensions running high and multiple developments unfolding. So Mayor Weddle faces 14 charges of misconduct, including hiring and firing employees without council approval, overpaying staff, misuse of police department for personal protection. Yeah, he uses the cops as the security guards. And mishandling city funds and questionable property transactions. Those are just a couple of what he's looking at. There's way more. So a public impeachment hearing is scheduled for September 5th at 9 a.m. at the Laurel County Judicial Center. And this is going to be for his impeachment. The hearing was relocated due to security concerns, although specifics remain unclear. More drama. So council drama and resignation. So a recent special called council meeting intended to amend charges was canceled due to scheduling conflicts. This was just recently. But Mayor Weddle showed up anyway, tried to make it look like he was being a hero and doing the right thing and following policies and procedures. So he showed up and adjourned it after 2 minutes, as no other council members attended, because they canceled it first. I don't know what the reason is, but the city council canceled it. Council member Stacy Benge was the only one who voted against the charges against Weddle. So Weddle had one supporter on the city council. He resigned yesterday from his city council position. So I have a theory on that as to what happened. I think he's in Weddle's pocket. And so Stacy Benge knew that if he sided with Weddle at the impeachment hearing, the city was the townspeople will eat him alive. And he knew that if he voted against Weddle, that Weddle would cut off whatever deal they got worked out. So instead, he just resigned and said, I'm out. I'm not voting for nothing. That's my theory. Now, there's some debate as to how they're going to handle that. They've got up to 30 days to name a replacement on city council for him. And I'm not real sure that we're still trying to figure out if they're going to need that done before the impeachment hearing or if they don't need it done. So I don't know. It's yet to be determined. I haven't really looked into what the policy is or anything or what the law is. So publicly, Weddle's denied all the allegations. He made a statement. He said, "You might impeach me, but you can't impeach the voters of 2026. Well, no shit. And he was on some. He was like making a video the other day. He's like, "Man, I still got a little holler rat in me, don't I?" Like, boy, so you just basically called all your people holler rats. Like, good job, buddy. Like he's just strike every time he puts a camera in front of him. He like strikes out every time. It's like having Joe Biden in front of a camera. Huh? They're both Democrats. No, I forgot. Randall Weddle's a Republican, but donates all of his money to Democrats. I forgot. We're going to talk about that. So I've been trying to look into his money, and I'm sure it's aggravating him because I've been finding out things like where all this goes and who's all involved and all these things. But there's a missing piece of his timeline that I can't find. And I'm still looking. I'm going to find it eventually. But how he got all of his money is still a mystery. But we're going to start to when he had money. So he has a company called WB Transport. He has lots of businesses, but this is the key one. So Weddle had ties to it's a reverse logistics company. So for those of you who don't know how that works, so basically Amazon will have like a truckload of stuff that got returned for whatever reason. You know, it's still good. So Weddle's company will buy that trailer full of returned goods for a very low price. And then he'll turn around and he'll sell it to wholesalers and make a profit. He makes really good money doing this. It's a legit business. It can be done. So Weddle has ties to other reverse logistics businesses and consultants, including associates like Paul Guastello, who contributes with Randall Weddle politically to Andy Beshear, the Democrat governor of Kentucky who's running for president. So Guastello, he's from Kansas City, and he's a developer. He does reverse logistics as well, with ties to real estate and political funding. So my question is, this is where I'm missing. At some point, Randall Weddle has found this guy in Kansas City. I'm not sure how or when or where, but it happened. So you have this Missouri connection to London, Kentucky through Randall Weddle. Considering how Guastello's been in the reverse logistics a long time, he's very wealthy, he's a multimillionaire. I wouldn't be surprised if some of Weddle's investment came from him. And he's probably taking a silent partner take on it or some sort of thing. So Guastello's currently leading an $18 million redevelopment project in Shawnee, Kansas. It's known as Westbrook Green, and it aims to revitalize the long decimated Westbrook Village shopping center. So he's got plans for this center. So he's trying to put in a new grocery store that's linked to World Fresh Market. He's got renovations on existing buildings, restriction on certain types of businesses to preserve community character. So he's also involved in the reverse logistics industry, which I already stated. It deals with reselling returned merchandise. He and his family have made significant political donations, including $149,000 to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's reelection campaign and the Kentucky Democrat Party. Contributions bundled with other donors connected to WB Transport and Mayor Randall Weddle. So now you can add Andy Beshear to the pot. So I think that's part of the deal. So Weddle found this guy, and they made a deal. They said, "Hey, let's do reverse logistics. You're in the Midwest. I'm down here in the South. So why not have a hub down here? So, hey, in order to make this happen, and we can get a lot more funding for it, let's donate to Andy Beshear so he can expedite the funding." So I think a lot of these little deals was happening. There's scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of thing. That's happening. So now enter Wayne Boismeyer. So Wayne Boismeyer, he's the co-founder of WB Transport. So it's Weddle and Boismeyer that founded WB Transport. WB, Weddle Boismeyer. So he brings operational muscle and financial backing with roots in Michigan and South Carolina. So now we're over here. We're over here in Kansas. Now we're over here in Michigan, South Carolina. We're into Kentucky. So we've got this interstate kind of thing going on. So he kept a lower profile than Weddle, but his name appears on business filings and property records tied to WB Transport. His background suggests he's more logistics focused, while Weddle took the public-facing political route. was he's out there. He's too loud. I've already told Weddle, I'm like, if you just shut up, you'd be in a better position. But he just doesn't. He don't get it. So Boyce Meyer, he's been linked to political donations as well to Andy Beshear, the Kentucky Democrat Party, the Democrat Grassroots Victory Fund. So here we go. Now we've added this other outsider in here. It's a pay-to-play scheme. They've got, hey, we'll give you donations. You just make sure you make all these business transactions happen real nice and smooth. Now, if you look at the big square here, so I'll call it a diamond. You've got, let's say, so Boyce Meyer's headquartered out of Michigan. So up north, you have Michigan. Down south, you got Kentucky. Over here in the west, you've got Kansas. And let's throw in the South Carolina area too that Boyce Meyer's affiliated with. You have a perimeter. Why would you need a perimeter? Is it for the reverse logistics operation, or is there something a little bit more to that? That may be illegal. That's something that's a theory or as of right now, but I may have a few little leads on that as to what more is involved there. But I'm going to keep my mouth shut for now until I know for sure. So that's pretty much where we're at with my little Kentucky investigation. I know the show's not going to be that long today, but I had a lot of things come up. There's more things I could have covered, but things are getting interesting down there. And I'm gonna watch the hearing tomorrow that they have. So they are having an emergency council meeting tomorrow in London at noon. Special called meeting scheduled Friday, August 29th at noon. So they have a few other things on the agenda. They've got to name some council people to the housing authority, blah, blah, blah. They got to talk about how they're going to replace Stacey Bange. So I'm going to keep close eye on that. So hopefully everybody's safe in Kentucky. I know things kind of got quiet there for a while. Weddle kind of shut up and he started focusing on making videos about how awesome his family is and how much he helps people, and which is what he should have been doing in the first place. He never should have gotten off of that. Instead, he wanted to throw money around there and try to buy everybody and flex on everybody. That backfired on him massively. And then he won't do anything about the Doug Harless situation. The officer that shot Doug Harless is still working. His mom is running like the most corrupt adoption agency I've ever seen. And she's also the code enforcement officer. So she's running the adoption agency while she's a code enforcement officer, and CPS they're completely oblivious to this. Anyway, there's a lot going on there. But I'll keep everybody updated. I know there's a lot of Kentucky people that watch my show. But that's it for today. I'm out. Peace.